Hello and welcome to Raven's Garage YouTube channel. My name is Raven and this is my garage, I guess. Today I have a little bit different of a video than I'd usually make. It's actually going to be a little bit more of an instructional video of how to install a battery cutoff switch in your car. I think this is a must-have for anybody who owns a convertible, especially a small one that could be easy to hotwire or anything like that. Now let's see what components you'll need to make this happen and just get right into the video. So here's everything we're gonna need to install the battery shut off into this car. Should be the same for any vehicle, but well, any kind of older vehicle at least. Here's a new battery cable. This will go from the battery to one of these terminals, and then I'm gonna take the existing battery that's in the car and you're gonna crimp a new one of these on there. And to do that, you'll need a little bit bigger crimpers than just wire crimpers. So I got this hammer crimper. You stick this and the wire in there, you smack the top with a hammer, crimps it on there nice and good, and you're just gonna need some mounting hardware along with obviously your battery cutoff. The only thing I don't have sitting out here is a hole saw. You can really cut the hole however you want, but hole saw will probably work pretty good. So let's jump over to the car now. So first things first, I gotta peel up this carpet. In order to get to the battery in this car, you have to peel up this carpet and take this cover off. Twist those off, comes right off of there. And now we have access to the battery down here. I'm going to mount it through this side so you can just reach through, grab the shut off really easy. Technically, if someone had one of the keys, they could just throw it in there and get the battery back going, but hoping that nobody walks around with those in their pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery now and actually take the battery out to make this a little bit easier. All right, let's get this pulled out of here. So this metal is pretty thin back here. It shouldn't be that bad to drill through. These battery boxes are actually made of wood. I don't know if that's how they come from factory, but that's pretty funny. So the negative can just kind of go out of the way. This luckily is already cut off and put on one of these terminals, so it'll be really easy to crimp that other wire on there. And then this carpet is just Velcroed on. So I'm gonna have to cut a hole in the carpet, but it'll at least be easy. Oh, Velcroed and glued. Now, planning where I would like to put this, you should consider, if you're trying to reach it from the driver's seat like I will be, maybe consider which way is going to be easiest to kind of put it in backwards and twist it. So for me, that's going to be being able to flick it down and up from the driver's side. So I'm going to plan to, can't really see in there, but put it about halfway down, maybe a little less than halfway. Instead of moving this carpet out of the way, it needs a hole in it anyway, so I'm just going to try to drill right through. So let's get to drilling. Time to grab my handy dandy little hole saw here and just freaking send it, I guess. I think right here's as good a spot as any, so let's see what kind of happens. Oh, I was worried about that. Grabbing on the carpet, ripping it, which is exactly what happened, but there we go. Nice little hole through there. The hole's not too bad through the carpet. Just gotta pull it tight again, glue it down again. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little test fit. So this is gonna end up going through like that. Key will go in there. I've got some mounting hardware that will go through, and we'll get these terminals slapped on there. All right, so next thing I wanna do, now I've got this hole drilled out, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to this taken off of there and crimped into the, keep calling it a terminal, it's not a terminal. This cable lug, not a terminal. I'm gonna use this fancy thing I got on eBay. Couldn't afford the hydraulic crimpers, so this is my next best bet. And I don't know how I'm gonna fit it in here to slam this thing down, but I'm gonna figure it out, that's for sure. All right, so copper lug, take the battery wire, go ahead and slide it over those wires. Slides on pretty good. Now we got to figure out how to get it in there. Me being able to smack it down. Oh, nice. It's barely gonna fit right here. Now I just got to give her a good whack with a hammer. Now let's see. Did it crimp it well? Yeah, it did. Just crimped on there, not coming off. Beautiful. It's It's not much, but it's honest work. These things are pretty cool. I think this thing was less than 30 bucks, I want to say. And that pales in comparison to the other crimping options for battery cables. So that worked out pretty well. Time to get the switch fully mounted. All right, now it's time to drill the holes for my hardware. So I'm just gonna put it where it needs to go and mark it up with some Sharpie. Get my holes going. There's one. Now I'm gonna drill out the last 3 holes and catch up with you. Cleaning up the carpet a little bit since it's frayed. I went ahead and snipped off the little frayed areas, and I'm gonna kind of singe it with a lighter, trying not to burn down the whole car in the process, just so these aren't able to fray out anymore. Before I go any further, I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum up all this mess. A lot of metal shavings and whatnot. All right, so it's actually time to bolt this thing up, refigure out which way it goes. Another thing I'm gonna do is between the metal here and this, I'm gonna just put a really thick O-ring. That way it just helps with vibration and whatnot. I don't want this thing coming loose or anything. All right, look at that. Got her bolted in there nice and tight. Flicks up, locks in. Flicks down, comes out. Looks cool, looks like a race car. Can't even really tell that I destroyed the carpet, so that's nice. Last thing to do, hook this original battery cable up to this one somehow. Bend it up all crazy. There we go. Go ahead and tighten that down in a moment. New battery cable on. All right, I'm gonna tighten these down and throw the battery in. All right, I got the red and blacks on. Battery disconnected, so go ahead and see, make sure this thing doesn't fire up. All right, now if I turn the key, battery's connected, nothing's happening. So slide this in there, turn that, should connect the battery. Oh, look at that, fuel pump comes on, everything works. That's it. If you're following along at home, that's how you connect a battery cutoff. It's not the prettiest, mind you, but the car itself is not the prettiest either. So there you go. That's how you connect a battery cutoff switch in your car. If you don't want to get your car stolen, it's not theft proof, but it is now theft resistant. So that's the best I can do. So thanks for watching. Drop a like, comment, do whatever, subscribe if you want to, and see you back here with either a video about this car again or that dang motorcycle. So yeah, see ya.